I'm in a terrible state, Doctor. What would you say to a girl who is so nervous she jumps into the nearest man's arms every time she is frightened?
Boo. Aim! Fuck!
Oh, look!
Thank you very much, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I spent 3 years of my life in Australia. In actual fact, I didn't spend 3 years, I spent 18 months. But 18 months in Australia is like 3 years anywhere else. And the Australians are very proud of the country. I left London on Friday at 4:30 in the afternoon. I flew all through Friday, all through Saturday, all through Sunday, and I arrived after 36 hours on an aeroplane. I arrived and see my eyes are hanging out. And the fellow says, "How did you find Australia?" I said, "I got off the bloody plane and it was there." The Australians actually, I know the Irish have a funny way of talking, but the Australians have also a funny, they add IE onto a lot of words. I was there around Christmas, and I said to a fellow, I said, "What are you going to do on Christmas?" He said, "Well, I think I'll get up, Chrissy Day, I'll have my brekkie, I'll pick up the cozzy, go for a dippy, watch a game of footy, have a game of drinkies, and then I'll come home and have a yummy, yummy Chrissy Din Din." He was 64 years of age. They loved in Australia, they love the booze. But the beer is so cold. It's you have to have gloves to pick up the glass. 3 beers and your lip is like... Everything's got to be cold. And you get a tramp, a wino, goes into a chemist shop and said, do you have a bottle of methylated spirits?" And the chemist said, "Yes," gives him one. He said, "What's the matter? Don't you have a cold one?" They drink. I arrived there and somebody said, "Would you like a schooner?" I thought he was going to give me a boat. And they're always telling me, as soon as you arrive in Australia, they say, "Watch out for the sharks." And they don't say a shark will eat you or chew you up. They say he'll take you. You're going to be taken by a shark. And I think to myself, well, if he takes me, he'll die of alcoholic poisoning. And I'm swimming. But in the back of my mind, sharks. I'm thinking of it. And I'm swimming away. And a fellow goes underneath me. Swims on. I don't even see him. And he comes right under, and he goes with his finger, shoom, down my stomach. Nobody swam in that sea for about 3 days. It is the nearest thing I have ever done to doing a JC in my life. I was across the water on the beach. When I was out there, I hired down on the coast a bungalow, kind of shack, hut, which we used to go for weekends. And we always get down there and have a few beers and swim and eat, laugh, joke. And then one of these Australian friends of mine said, "Hey, Dave, you want to be careful about the grass around here. It's getting very tall, and a lot of snakes, they live in the grass. You want to cut it." And I said, well, I'm never here. I only come here every 6 weeks or something. How the hell am I going? He said, well, buy yourself a sheep. Tether him, and he'll eat up all the grass. So I thought it was a very good idea. I bought a sheep for £5. Tied him up. 6 months later, he's as big as a house. Wool everywhere. Somebody said, you want to get him sheared? He'll dehydrate. So I go back to Sydney and I go through the yellow pages. Sheep shearing. And unknown to me, I am ringing up the biggest sheep shearing company in the world. And I said, I'm making inquiries about sheep shearing. The woman said, 1 second, please. And I was, I believe you're making inquiries about sheep shearing. I said, yes. He said, well, let me tell you our rates first. We shear sheep per 5,000, 10,000, 50,000, 100,000. We've got different rates. We've got piece rate. We do hourly rate, weekly rate, monthly rate. It all depends on the number of sheep that you have, percentage loss, percentage gain. How many sheep do you have? I said, 1. He said, really? What's his bloody name? Mind you, I'll tell you something. I'll tell you, and I mean this very sincerely, the Australians are perhaps one of the most hospitable and generous people in the world. I mean, if you're stuck for a night, they'll give you a bed. You haven't got a drink, they'll give you a drink. Got no money, they'll give you money. The food, they'll take the food off the plate and give it to you. It's those white Australians I don't like. Somehow or another, I don't think this show is going to be sold to Australia. The great Scottish poet, Robert Burns, once wrote, the best laid schemes of mice and men are oft to gang at lee. And lay us not but grief and pain for promised joy. Which in Irish English means, if you're having an affair with a mouse, make sure she takes the pill. Which all means the best laid plans of mice and men are apt to go astray. And that's what I said in the first place.
That's a lovely program.
This is a great program.
Oh, there's my husband on that program.
He's not what, that chap with the beard and the moustache and the monocle?
Isn't he funny?
It's ridiculous.
What's going on here?
Never tells you when it's a flaming repeat.
So we caught you at last. And now, you're going to die.
You would now record me, only I was betrayed by my best friend.
Ha! You should never trust anybody. Have you a last request?
Would you like to earn yourself 50,000 pesos?
50,000 pesos?
You get your caballeros to miss me, I give you 50,000 pesos.
It's a deal.
Okay. 25,000 now, 25,000 after.
Okay.
Okay.
Take aim. Fire! I told you, never trust anybody.
And so, once again, many thanks for allowing me to come here as speaker at this, your prison's first open day. Now, it has always been a particular hobby horse.
The best laid schemes of mice and men, yes. We have within the Church of Rome what we call a confessional box, which I suppose is Rome's answer to Freud. It's harder on the knees, but it's a lot cheaper. And I don't know if you've ever been in a confessional box, but what actually happens in a confessional box is the priest sits in the middle, and a fellow comes in this side, and a fellow comes in this side. And the priest listens to his sins, and when he gets out, another one gets in. There's no hanging about. Get in, get rid of it, and get back to the bar. And you get a fellow who goes to the confessional very drunk, and the priest says, "How dare you come to the confessional box drunk?" He said, "I wouldn't dare come if I was sober." A lot of people tell me that I shouldn't tell gags about religion, and I don't know why not. Because all professions have their own private jokes. I mean, all the gags that I tell have been told to me by priests or nuns. Mind you, they're all out of work, but that's... A lot of people feel that the Catholic Church is old-fashioned nowadays, that it needs a touch of modernization. And there's a story told about a young preacher, a real modern preacher, modern priest, with long hair, the beads, and he's a swinger. And word goes round that this is the greatest speaker to be heard in the church for years. And a bishop goes to see him in the church, give his sermon. And he stands in that pulpit, and he talks, and he speaks, and he's got the congregation in the middle of his hand. And they're alive. The message has been brought back. And the bishop goes to him afterwards, and he said, "That is the most superb sermon I have ever heard in my 75 years. There is only one thing, one piece of advice I would give to you. That when one is talking about the Holy Trinity, we don't talk about Big Daddy, the kiddo, and Spooky." Come on. In all the shows that we've done so far, we've done sketches on religion. And why should this week be any different than the others? Gloria in excelsis Deo, Deo. Daylight come and we wanna go home. Say, Mr. Tallyman, tally me banana. Daylight come and we wanna go home. Cardinal Prince of the Holy Roman Catholic Church, Papal Ambassador to the Court of St. James, member of the College of Cardinals, presiding bishop to the Ecumenical Convention, and chief advisor to His Holiness Pope Paul. John Michael O'Hagan, this is your life. Another thing that always baffles me is when they say that man is made in God's likeness. Who are they talking about? Are they talking about the Japanese, Chinese, Indians, Pakistanis, Germans, Englishmen? I personally don't see God as a Chinaman. I can't imagine going to heaven and God standing there saying, "How you doing? Oh, come here, have a heavenly chop suey." Well, an Indian, can you imagine knocking, and God is an Indian, saying, "Welcome. I'm terribly sorry, the place is slightly overcrowded, 5 to a bed, but we'll be all right now." I don't even see God as an Irishman. Can you imagine God 6 foot tall with a big wimpy jacket on? Say, "Come on in, lads, have a jar, dig a hole." I see God as an Englishman. The bowler hat and the brolly. I mean, who else but an Englishman would say, "I'm terribly sorry, you can't come in. You've got to go below and burn." Mind you, if man has a sense of humor about God, surely God must have a sense of humor about man.
Oh, Noah. Duck-billed platypuses, yes.
Even hippopotamuses, yes.
Even white rhinoceroses, yes.
But Lord, was it necessary for us to bring the woodworm?
Beware of God. I see now. It's dog spelled backwards. Silly English people that can't speak their own language.
In this battle today, fear not, for whom the bell tolls, it tolls not for thee. Ours is a just cause. I am King of England by divine right. God is on our side. What? On our side.
British tanker. Range 2000.
Range 2000.
To them.
Give me depth.
Depth
50.
50.
Prepare to fire.
Prepare to fire.
Ready?
Fire!
Fire!
Mein Gott in Himmel, I have missed the tanker.
You're safe nowhere. The greatest sin of all against God's law is a sin of infidelity. And I think it's a sin that you're all guilty of. I'm not, but you are. You don't actually have to commit to a physical act to commit the sin. All you got to do is think the sin. I haven't got a chance in hell of ever going to heaven. Infidelity. In the olden days, the men used to protect their wives against the sin of infidelity by making them wear what they call a chastity belt. And there was a knight about to leave for the holy wars, and he called his friend. And he said, "Sir Reginald, I leave to fight for my God, my king, and my country against the infidel. To you, and to you only, because you are the only man in this whole realm that I can trust, I entrust you the key to my wife's chastity belt. If I do not come back from the holy wars, give it to my wife and tell her she is free to marry whoever she wishes." And he gets on his steed, in his armor, and he trots off. The sun gleaming on that armor, and the lance held high, sparkling in the sunshine. And 10 miles from his castle, he turns round to have one last look, and he sees a cloud of dust coming closer and closer and closer and closer to him. He reins to, and it is Sir Reginald. And he said, "Why do you come after me, Sir Reginald?" And Sir Reginald said, "My lord, you have given me the wrong key." Remember, what God has joined together, let no man put asunder.
Hello.
Hello,
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Hey, well, Fred. Hi, George. How's the wife?
She's fine, she's fine. She's upstairs in bed with the milkman.
What about your wife and the milkman?
They don't drink.
Well, here we go then, ladies and gentlemen, presenting our holiday snaps. Now, what's first? Oh, whoops, technical hitch, as they say in the business. Oh, now, this is Mavis getting off the coach. See the sunshine? Oh, it's a lovely day. I think that one's a bit out of focus, though, now. What? Oh, now, this is what we like to call our own private beach. It's only 23 miles from the hotel. Yes. Now, oh, this is Mavis in the dining room, and there's our favourite waiter, Miguel. Yeah, I think I could have allowed for the artificial light in that one. Oh, and this is Miguel mixing one of those specials which Mavis liked so much. I could have used a time exposure on that one, I think. Oh, and this is Miguel giving Mavis a rub down with her suntan oil. She seems to be enjoying it. Could have used my tripod there, I think. Now, what's next? Oh, yes, now, this is Mavis and Miguel relaxing after a day in the sun. You know, I thought that one was going to be a bit blurred because she kept squirming around, but it isn't blurred at all, is it? No. Oh, no. This is funny. Now, this is Mavis and Miguel pretending to be in a French film for a joke. Mavis is dreadfully overexposed, though. Still, oh, well, all good things come to an end, and so we say farewell to our happy holiday. I'll put the lights on. Oh, I do appreciate you coming all the way from Majorca, Miguel, just to see our holiday snatch. Keep still and I'll try a time exposure.
It's amazing how disbelieving we can be unless we actually see something with our own eyes. And even if we see something with our own eyes, which is unbelievable, the mind will not allow the brain to accept what the eye has seen. So it doesn't really make any difference whether you've seen it or not. But of course, the camera can never lie.
We are now here in the heart of the English countryside. And by looking at this village here, you might feel that everything is peaceful and tranquil. But if you were to look closely at the doors and windows of these houses, you would notice that they're all bolted and shut tight. There is no sounds of laughter of wee children in play here in this village. This is a village of fear. The villagers are terrified because they believe in the pond beside the village lives a monster who on a certain day of every year leaves the pond in search of human victims. We from the BBC have brought our cameras down here to try and photograph this monster. Admittedly, we're slightly cynical and skeptical about it, but the villagers, they claim that they have already lost 9 victims to the monster, including a wee pussycat. I have tried very hard to get one of the villagers to talk to me about this monster, but they absolutely refuse to leave the safety of their own homes. They're absolutely terrified. And they have every right to be terrified. The monster really does exist. He's now picking me up, and I can see that he has one eye in the middle of his forehead, and his breath smells rather foul. We're now walking rapidly in the direction of the pond, and now entering the water. The water is gradually creeping up towards my neck and over my head.
If you think that's strange, you should try living in my mind. There's no doubt that some men are born with a power to control, or a power to lead, or a power to sway other men. And no man more so than the man who has the power of hypnosis. The hypnotist can not only sway one mind, but many minds, thousands of minds. And there's a story told of a hypnotist who appeared at the Albert Hall. The place was packed, thousands of people. And he walked upon the stage, and all the lights went down, and he stood in the one spotlight, and he began to talk. And his voice was soft and gentle, persuasive. And as he talked, the people listened. And as they listened, they became immersed in the sound of his voice. And he said to them, you will listen to my voice. You will listen, and as you hear my voice, your eyes will become drowsy. Your limbs will become heavy. Your eyelids will become sand-like. You wish to close them. You wish to sleep. And as you sleep, you shall listen to my voice. And they're all there. You will obey my every command. The whole place is still. He said, I will leave the stage now for a few moments, but I want you to remember that you are under my control. And as he leaves the stage, he trips over a microphone wire and says a word which I am not allowed to say on television. I only know that it took 5 weeks to clean the Albert Hall out. Hypnosis is one way of making men do what you want them to do, but there are other ways. You know, my brother and myself used to do that. And I'll tell you another way of getting an empty carriage. Is get into it early and sit there, and as somebody approaches the door, go, I guarantee you, wherever you're going, you'll have an empty carriage. Somebody once said to the very famous mountaineer Mallory, why do you wish to climb Mount Everest? And he said, because it's there. And somebody is bound to ask me why we are going to show the next piece of film. And the answer is, because it's there. If we didn't show it, we'd be 3 minutes short.
Oh, Jane!
Girls were made to laugh and prompt.
Kiss. Kiss.
The general situation, then, will be affected by the very strong winds which came in last night over the Atlantic, over Ireland. Ireland.
The thing I'm always accused of doing is telling Irish stories. Don't know why, I'm an Irishman. People say, why don't you tell other stories? And I find it very hard to find other stories which I can fit. I mean, the English sense of humor is very different, or vastly different to the Irish sense of humor. So it's very hard, occasionally, to get a good English story, which I can tell. But I traveled down the West Country, and they're lovely down there. They don't, they're very gentle. You be all right now. I like you. What I call constipated conversation. Get out. I got lost. I was lost in Somerset. And I said to a fellow, I said, where am I going? He said, down the road. You get a lady in Somerset stops a farmer. She says, tell me, farmer, why doesn't that cow in that field have horns? He says, lady, some cows don't get horns. Other cows don't get horns till they're 7 or 8 years of age. Other cows don't get horns till they've calved. The reason that cow don't have horns is because he's a bloody horse. We got the two West Country men in the First World War in the trenches. And one called to his friend, he said, well, we gotta retreat now. Gotta go back. He said, I can't go back, I just caught a prisoner. He said, well, bring him with you. He said, he doesn't want to come. He said, well, leave him. He said, he won't let me. Men in uniform are rewarded for their acts of valor in many different ways. We in Western Europe have our own method of honoring the heroic soldier.
Corporal, the fracture's a wee bit complicated. Now, remember the important things to keep the arm straight. I'm afraid it'll mean keeping the plaster on for, well, 3 months.
Stop.
Have you made up your mind?
Yes. We will not build your railway.
Have you never heard of the Geneva Convention?
Geneva Convention? What does Geneva Convention mean to me?
Don't you realize war is war to the Japanese people? I am sick and tired of your insubordination. You will build my railroad. Otherwise, you'll be taken out and shot. Understand?
Oh, yes. Very well then, yes.
Good. I want a tunnel over here. Signal box over there.
Ladies and gentlemen, we would now like to sing a Western song. Who wants to be a millionaire?
I do.
Spare a thought for the fallen knight of Rome. If and when you receive this missile, you will know I am dead. Our campaign against the Huns north of the Rhine under Marcus Octavius has been a complete failure. We are hopelessly outnumbered, and worse, our commander inadequate, our strategy wrong, and above all, our weapons and mode of warfare completely out of date. The German tribes have united and become an invincible war machine. It is very likely that as I write this, our positions are being overrun. Dearest Portia,
Throw, the latest right, this is right.
I just counted that up. That's 7 times I've died in this show. Should be an undertaker. One of the most prolific of all English poets was a man called Anonymous. He did. He's written an amazing amount of stuff. And one of the poems that he wrote was, as I was going up the stair, I met a man who was not there. He was not there again today. I wish that man would go away. Now, if you think about that long enough, that is very spooky. I met a man who wasn't there. He wasn't there again today. I wish that man would go. That made your hair stand on end. Have you ever really been in a position, not you, sir, because you got none, where your hair has stood on end? I did it in Ireland. And this is no joke. This is no joke. I used to take a shortcut through a graveyard. And it never bothered me. And one night I was walking through the graveyard, and as I walked, I heard behind me, and I stopped. And I thought, don't be silly. There's nothing. Don't even look around, because if you're frightened, you must never look around. And I walked on, and as I walked on, it went. And my hair began to curl up again. And I'm thinking, don't be frightened. If you give in to it, you're in trouble. And I walked on. And I walked faster. And I turned around and I went, give it! I had caught a twig in the back of my trunk. Real fear is never far below the surface, ready to emerge, ready to grip you with icy, cold, grave-like fingers, ready to send your mind spiraling downwards into a blind, black pit of sheer panic.
Excuse me, sir. You forgot to pay for your deck chair.
And the lady dropped her hat.
Thank you, good night, and may your God go with you.